he's a troubled person. But because we give him this forum and let him get on that soapbox, look at his face. He feels better already.
So I went wide open, hoping for a little taste of that unknown. Living in a fast car, living in a fast car days.
All right, welcome back to another edition of Checkers, Wreckers, and What the Heckers. My name is Chad Bearden. I'm a country music artist, content creator, and NASCAR superfan, joined always by the man, the myth, the legend, the VIP at-track coordinator for Haas Factory Team, the best hair in all of NASCAR and all of the lower 48. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rick Kojan.
What up? Yeah, lower 48. Don't be looking up in Alaska because someone might be out doing my mullet up in Alaska. So let's keep it in lower 48, please.
Well, I'm going to check before next week's show so I can verify about Alaska. And
I haven't got my hair cut in a while, man. So that crop is growing back there.
Let it flow, buddy.
It's nothing
But flow. And the fastest man in North Carolina, the best looking man on this podcast, and the team with the most speed and the most money in all of NASCAR.
That's it.
The at-track IT coordinator for Hendrick Motorsports, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chris Justice in the house.
Hey, thank you guys. Another week at it. Good to see you.
Yeah, how's Pocono, fellas?
It wasn't bad. Rick and I met up Friday night. We had dinner once we all got settled in, and we got some stuff to talk about, don't we?
Yeah.
Want to make sure that our 11 viewers actually know that we are all friends outside of this podcast. So, Chris and I breaking some bread up there. It was a good time.
I know. I'm jealous that I was left out of it. I did, however, on Friday night, I took my little boy to the Gym Theater here in Kannapolis to see How to Train a Dragon.
Historic place.
It is. If I don't know that you could see it right behind me, but they just renovated that theater last year, and those seats came out of that theater.
Oh, nice.
My wife bought me those for Christmas a couple of years ago. So
nice.
A lot of layers to you there, Chad Bearden. Like a lot of interesting layers like that. That I don't know. Surprising. I'll just leave it at that.
I'm like an onion. Just peel them back.
Peel those layers back. We got to peel them back, man. We got to peel them back. Peel those layers.
All right. Well, we're going to talk all things Pocono, if I can get through speaking tonight. All things Pocono. But first, let's get into some three wide. All right. The first thing on our three wide segment this week, longtime spotter Tab Boyd fired from Hayek Motorsports over comments he made on X regarding Mexico City. The team issued a statement that said, "We at Hayek Motorsports hold our team members to the highest standards of professionalism and inclusivity. Due to the recent comments that do not reflect our values, we have made the decision to part ways with Tad Boyd, effective immediately." Give me your thoughts on that, Chris Justice.
Listen, in the age of social media, you got to watch what you say. Whether they're right or wrong, it's a sensitive climate right now. And being in the profession that we're in, we got to watch our words. Right? It is what it is. Like you may have those conversations at home, but you can't go public with really how you feel when you're in the spotlight like he was. He was a veteran on top of the roof, spotting cars forever, and as a company with sponsorship on the line and the way the sponsors play and the role they have in our sport right now, you got to walk that fine line. You got to edge, you got to proceed on the side of caution. Right, like you can't be a renegade or, see it your way all the time when the dollars comes down from the sponsorship. So, it wasn't his team. They made a move. Sorry about his luck.
Rick?
Well, it probably won't surprise anybody who actually tunes into our podcast that since I'm not on social media, I was unaware of this. So shocker there, but I'm going to tell you this. So that is one of the things that I fear most about social media, right? On here, I'm with you guys. I guess I could be an idiot, but still, I'm going to be smart enough not to say dumb things. Obviously, he was the spotter for Stenhouse. I've heard of him. I think he's a longtime guy in the sport, like Chris said. And I'm going to go out on a limb because I don't have an X account or a Insta account or a Snapchat account or whatever all this nonsense is. However, I'll bet it was something about the country, the people, the food, it's a stereotype thing that no matter what the topic is, like Chris said, he, and all the rest of us represent a major league sport, right? We're not a stick and ball sport, but we're a major league top level sport. Shut your damn pie hole and learn how to be politically correct. God knows I took enough of these classes at Sony. I hope I never fail in this category. That's my input. Thank you very much.
What do you think, Chad? What's your take on
Oh,
this?
what's up with you?
Well, let me just read you the comment.
Oh,
So that,
perfect. I'll pretend like I'm on X. Go ahead.
yeah. So his comment was, end quote, I'm ready to go home. Screw this place. People can talk it up all they want. Can't even walk out the front door of the hotel without getting hustled and money snatched in less than 5 minutes. Good area, my ass. That was the
All I
Okay.
comment.
can say is I walked out the front door and I kept all my money. So what front door did he walk out of? I
I
don't
don't,
know. I don't know. I saw a busload full of people every morning with all their money.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I get it. I mean, it's when I'm all for people. I'm all for freedom of speech and I'm all for saying what you want to say, but also when somebody else is writing your check, you got to remember you got to play by their rules. So, um, yeah,
May I have a small little, because you just read it and I went first. May
yeah,
I have
go.
a small little Rick? You were right. I guessed it. I told you.
Oh, you did. Yeah. All right. Staying on that topic while we're,
Oh,
the second, Mexico comment scandal, our
Another
boy,
dummy.
our
Big
boy,
dummy.
our boy cannot Carson Hocevar fined $50,000 by Spire Motorsports for comments he made during a Twitch live stream. Spire
We're back to
Motors.
Twitch. Remember the first guy who got caught up in a Twitch comment?
Yep.
Hmm.
is that Chris? Is that when you Twitch? Is that when you're iRacing? Is that when that
Yes.
happens?
That's
Okay.
what so Twitch, you can do anything on Twitch. Like we could stream live on Twitch if we wanted to.
Okay.
But yes, they use it for
But
iRacing.
yes,
All right.
so
Yeah,
so
10-4.
Carson, and I will say this, I do love what Carson is doing with his Twitch overall. He has a full iRacing rig in his hauler. He sets it up. He is bringing in a ton of new NASCAR fans via
Mm-hmm.
his Twitch stream,
Mm-hmm.
younger fans, which the industry is dying for.
Gotta have
So,
them.
yes, the work he is doing via his Twitch is great work. I will preface with that. What he said did not help his cause and his current fiasco that he can't keep himself out of. Anyways, the team fined him $50,000. Spire said, we take language and behavior seriously, both on and off the track. Carson's remarks were not in line with our team's standards, and actions have been taken accordingly. Carson responded and said, I take full responsibility for my words. It was a mistake and I've learned from it. I'll be better. Um, so Carson paid the fine, and that's that. Thoughts, Rick?
So this one I actually heard about. Didn't need to have it on X or Twitch or whatever y'all are talking about. I know what he said, doesn't have to be repeated, but he used a negative descriptor word against the country as a whole, as someone who has never traveled to it, and then self-admitted, I believe, I don't want to misquote him, did he forget Mexico for a minute? He's just never even left the country, right?
Right.
So I mean, it's a younger guy with less, cultured business travel, whatever experiences. So I'll go back to my previous comment, which is shut your pie hole. And again, where are you basing your information for these things on? On stereotypes, never having been there yourself. Go ahead, Chris.
I would agree. Another victim of insert foot here. I mean, come on. I mean, that's some of the problem with the young kids now. They just, no respect. Say what they want to say and get away with it. Until now, when you're in the spotlight, like if he was in the truck series or what have you, still or ARCA racing, he might not even heard about it, right? But given that he is in the limelight now, he is front row center. He is battling with Ricky Stenhouse in the media for driving tactics. People are watching, people are listening. And then you go on, so they're going to take those words at face value.
Yeah, that he put out there, right?
Correct.
If he was in a bar with the three of us and he made the comment,
Okay.
yeah, I was gonna say we may not have agreed with him, but at least it would have died there.
Well, and I heard Dale Jr. speak to this a little bit. He said that it's really easy when you're in those situations on iRacing and you're in these moments and you have your headphones on, whatever, like it has a real feel like you're just playing a game with your friends and
Right.
you're in this situation where you're talking to your buddies. But
Right.
and again, I'm not making excuses for the guy. Again, it is what it is, and he does have to keep in mind that he is on a huge stage, but he's a 22-year-old kid who is learning some really hard lessons, really hard ways.
Yeah.
So uh again, it's like I tell my kids all the time, if you put it out there online, it
It's
lives
out there
forever.
forever.
It's
Lives.
it's out there forever. And it's really hard to overcome. And whether you pay the price for it now or you pay the price for it later, you're going to pay the price for it.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's talk about the NASCAR in season challenge presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. We finally have our seedings, and the first round of this starts this weekend at Echo Park Speedway in
Way to
Atlanta.
get that right. Way to get that right, Chad.
Yes, nothing like naming rights.
I heard
Uh,
people falling all over it today on Sirius XM NASCAR 90, just tripping up and still calling it Atlanta. So kudos to you.
so, so let's talk about some of these the first round matchups. Uh, so you have Denny Hamlin taking on Ty Dillon.
And he P1 and Diddy Hamlin P1?
Yes,
Yes.
he is the one seed. Ty Dillon is the 32nd seed.
Need to print a bracket. Is it on NASCAR.com?
Um, so NASCAR.com has the bracket. I had to Google it and go find it from TNT Sports
Okay.
Is where I got it.
Oh,
But
wow. That looks cool as hell, too.
yeah, NASCAR you can so this is the one that I printed out here. And then I went to Racing Insights and you can get the actual breakdown.
Since you're the king of content amongst all of us, you going to send that to Chris and I?
We'll gladly
Thank
send
you.
it to you. But
I
you
got your back, Justice.
I appreciate it. Preach,
but
preach.
But you can go to the NASCAR app and digitally select all your matchups.
Yeah.
It'll
Just like the
click
printout form, like when you get an NCAA bracket, which is what this is supposed to be indicative of.
right, in which we want we want people to do, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Let's go on through these matchups. So, like I said, you got Denny Hamlin taking on Ty Dillon, Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski, which I think
Brad,
is going to be an interesting matchup.
I did that to you on purpose. You didn't even laugh.
Um, Listen,
Brad,
I don't even know which way I'm going to go because even if I think with my heart and I go Kyle Busch, I still don't know.
but if you want to win, Brad,
But is it? I mean, you look at Brad and Brad can't catch a break
you
this
can.
this year. I mean, where is Brad sitting in points right now? Like 35th? Like it's
Chad, the biggest thing, and we haven't even talked about it yet. I want you to go through your matchups. And I don't want to mess up the name, so I'll just say the track formerly known as, kind of like a Prince thing. Um, it's a tapered spacer pack racing track.
yes.
So whatever, we could put Justice in the 44 car, and if he misses some accidents, he could wind up beating Denny Hamlin if Hamlin gets caught up.
Yeah, and it's going to be a very interesting
Thanks
the
for giving
whole
me some
challenge.
credit, though.
See how I put you in that 44 car? Get on with it, New York Racing. You're missing out.
Get
Get
it
you some
out, get it
justice.
on.
Get you some justice.
All right. The next matchup, Bubba Wallace versus Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman versus Joey Logano, Christopher Bell versus Ricky Stenhouse. I was really hoping we were going to have a Hocevar versus Stenhouse. How great would that have been on TBS?
That would have been a
Uh,
classic.
You
oh
mean like
man,
it was at Pocono when they were lined up next to each other late in the race, running second and third? Yeah.
yeah, and Carson just kept waving him by.
Go on.
Uh,
Go on.
yeah. Ross Chastain and Eric Jones, John Hunter Nemechek and Josh Berry, Chase Elliott versus Austin Dillon, Chase Briscoe versus Noah Gragson, Ryan Preece versus William Byron, Kyle Larson versus Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney versus Carson Hocevar, Chris Buescher versus Todd Gilliland, Zane Smith versus Austin Cindric, Michael McDowell versus AJ Allmendinger, and Ty Gibbs versus Justin Haley. Those are your matchups for round one. Any of
Can I
those that
pick Cole Custer?
can you what? I'm sorry.
Can I pick Cole Custer?
Yeah,
No,
I don't think he's on there,
no,
Brownie. I don't think
Explain why.
because he did
he hasn't
not.
finished in the top 20 yet, has he?
No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Yes, and yes, we have a couple times. Easy there, Hendrick Tiger. Chad, do you know why?
Because he did not rank high enough to get seated.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what everyone should know is they just clipped the top 32 to
Yes.
make it like an NCAA bracket. Yep.
Yes.
No shots. I like Cole Custer. That's my guy.
No.
Just making sure people know.
Yeah. Are there any matchups that I mean, again, I know that we're headed to Atlanta, which is the newly configured Atlanta Echo Park Speedway is a drafting track or whatever you want to call it these days.
Back racing like Daytona and Talladega, random lottery.
Yes. Are there any of those matches in round one that stick out to you that you find interesting? Chris?
Might be the Logano Bowman deal. Logano has shown speed and technique at those places, right? You know, you take him to a speedway race, he finds his way to the front almost every time, and he has that thing dialed in and he knows how to maneuver traffic and lines and drafts and you also see that with Bowman. You'll see him slice and dice up front on those pack races and speedway style races. So I think you put those two together, they might be nose to tail for most of the day. We'll see.
Rick?
So hopefully everybody knows, like early on, this might be like, some for fun bullshit. 32 goes to 16, 16 goes to 8, 8 goes to 4, right? 4 goes to 2. Just so everybody knows, like once they get down to it at the end of this, it's for a real deal $1 million, which is the same amount given out last time I checked at the All-Star race, right?
Correct.
My first round matchup that I would pick only because I think it's interesting and I think they're going to have some fun with it is Chase Briscoe and Noah Gregson because they're good buddies off the track, right? So they said they were going to have some fun. And of course, I won't know about it because I'm not on social media, but they're going to have some fun with the matchup itself. And I think that's pretty cool. Like when you get two guys, that are our friends off the track. So that's one for me that I think is a cool matchup.
Yeah, I like that. And I like when you have guys who, there's so many of these guys who want to play it cool and who, I'm only here to win a championship or, and who, act like they're not into it. So I like guys who are playing into it. A couple of ones that stick out to me who I think could be interesting matchups in round one is I think the Ryan Priest William Byron one could be a good matchup at Atlanta. You saw Ryan finished second at Talladega before the DQ. Um, and then you obviously William Byron has won Daytona the past 2 years in a row. So could be a really cool matchup. And then the Larson Reddick one I think is interesting too. Both very similar styles of driving. So could be a fun one to watch as well.
I think that one would be more interesting in a track where you have to run the wall, right? Where
Yes.
I
that's an
agree. Like
advantage,
if that was, yeah, I'm with Chris. If
right?
that was
If that was an
my,
advantage to run the wall, that matchup would definitely be something to watch
No,
with.
100%. I agree with you.
I'm with you on that because I think and again, I'm not looking at no stats, which I know our super fan Chad has them all, but Larson always gets caught up. I think he's got a terrible record pretty much overall at pack racing tracks like Daytona, and now Atlanta. I think.
Uh,
So
I, I think he finished pretty well there last time we were there, right?
did he?
I thought he
Oh,
did.
you're the
I could be
super
wrong.
fan. Check me out.
I could be wrong. All right. So we discussed it last week. What did we decide the risk reward was going to be between the three of us on this bracket? So
I told you
essentially,
it was stakes.
Yeah, I thought it was going with stakes.
is that where we're going with? So
Losers buying stakes.
all right. So what we're going to say is for every matchup you get right, you get a point.
Okay.
The person with the most points
Wins.
at the end wins. The
Yeah.
person with the least amount of points buys the stakes.
Fair enough.
Deal?
Oh,
Game
that's
on.
totally
All right.
legit.
All right. So
Point
we
per pick. I got it.
all right. So here's what I'm gonna send you guys this bracket. We're gonna fill it out to take pictures of it. And I will post all three of our brackets on our social media pages so everybody can take a look at it.
That's right.
All
You
right.
can't change them.
Right. That
No
being said,
changes.
Yeah,
that
don't be
being
doing any of that shady content stuff there, Chad, and like changing.
no, I'm not changing. I'm all in on my picks. All in. All right. That being said, we have a huge announcement, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Huge announcement, like the biggest announcement we've ever had on the podcast. I feel no excitement from you guys.
Are you waiting for a drum roll? I'm like, I don't know what's happening here.
All right. So we are announcing this week we are doing a Charlotte race weekend giveaway. All the excitement. This is where the fireworks go off.
Where they go
So,
off.
yes. So for Charlotte Roval weekend, we are bringing a lucky fan and a guest of their choosing to Charlotte for round trip airfare from anywhere in the continental US, all the places where Rick has the best hair.
Thank you. Lower 48.
Yes, lower 48. Hotel stay for the weekend, two VIP tickets to the race, also VIP for a live taping of our podcast. We're going to have lots of special guests for that. Also, we are going to have a cool little package of merch and some signed driver items and things like that. And it's going to be really cool. All the stuff, we'll have a full list that we'll post on our social media accounts and our new recently launched website, Records
Check it
Podcast,
out.
Would that be, would
recordspodcast.com,
that be wreckerspodcast.com?
recordspodcast.com,
Recordspodcast.com.
and all our social channels at Wreckers Podcast. So here's how you enter. You take one of these brackets like we've got, you fill it out, you post it, you tag at Wreckers Podcast on there, and then you start inviting your friends. Start tagging your friends, invite them over to our pages.
Yeah,
You
tag them up.
Yeah, go tag them on our YouTube channel, which is also Wreckers Podcast, or you just search Checkers, Wreckers, and What the Heckers. This whole thing is based off a point system. The more engagement that you have with us, so the more times you share our posts, the more times you comment on our posts, the more friends that you invite and like our page, the more points you get. We have a website that tracks all that stuff, and you get points for all that. At the end of this is going to run through our entire bracket challenge. So after the Indy race, uh, yes. So 5 races after the Indy race, whether or not you get the bracket right actually means nothing. This is
It's
just
all
for
about
fun.
points. It's
Yeah.
all about points.
It's all about the engagement with us on the podcast. So after the Indy race, we will go to the website. We will see who has the most points, the most engagement. That person and a person of their choosing. You can bring your spouse, your friend, your don't bring somebody who's going to get us in trouble, but
Add social media comments, see
Yeah.
see entry to the podcast.
yeah. But you and a +1 will be coming to Charlotte for the Roval race weekend. You'll be hanging out with us. It's going to be a great weekend. We're looking forward to it. We're excited. We've been working hard. These two guys have been working hard to help put this together. We got lots of partners who we're partnering with on this. Thanks to all those people. We'll be detailing all those people on the website and the social media channels as well. So we're excited for that, for the Charlotte race weekend giveaway, brought to you from Checkers, Wreckers, and What the Heckers. What do you think, guys? That's pretty exciting.
I think it's going to be a good time. We're gonna go ahead and say thank you now for all the participants. Let's go ahead and get the word out, man. I think it's gonna be a good time. The road was nice. The road was fun. You got 3 cool guys to hang out with, be a part of the podcast.
Yeah. And maybe even some more events that weekend. I think we might try to put together a concert that weekend. So if that happens, you'll also get some tickets to the concert. Maybe we can we'll have Lindsay involved. Maybe
You're full of surprises.
we're just gonna keep
I-
on stacking stuff on top of it. Just keep
I
stacking
hate
stuff.
to be pessimistic, but I want to like put this out there. If everybody sits on their hands and does nothing, since Chris and I are on here every single week, is it possible we could win?
Well, it's going to be hard for you since I can't even get you to get on social media.
Oh, come on, man.
But Chris, maybe, I don't know.
Ugh.
All right, let's get into some Checkers, Wreckers, and What the Heckers from Pocono. Are you ready?
Hells yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, let's talk some trucks. Chris was on a plane on one of those fancy Hendrick multi-billion-dollar planes. I mean, they're probably
They have Wi-Fi and TVs. Let's start with Chris then.
they're probably serving like lobster and caviar on the way up there.
Nah, we don't get none of that. It's not that hot. It's not that fancy.
Oh, Chris was traveling during the truck race, but old Ricky caught some of the truck race, so he and I are going to talk some Checkers, Wreckers, and Heckers for the truck race, and we're going to let Chris jump in.
Rick's got my back on this one.
I like it.
A little bit. I ain't got much, but I got a little bit.
That's all right. Ricky, do you got a Checkers for Craftsman Trucks at Pocono?
I do, and again, I know I'm taking the easy off ramp off the freeway, but listen, the winner's Lane Riggs, and I'm going to give him my checkers. He had to be there in the end, and I think it's it's good when we get some different winners. That's my big thing. So the reason I'm giving it to him because I'm going to come back with a what the heckers there is that's our race winner. He gets my checkers.
All right. Are you ready for mine?
Of course, super fan.
My checkers is Dr. Patrick M. Connor. Are you familiar with Dr. Patrick M. Connor?
I feel like we're being challenged, Chris. Dr. Patrick Connor. Well, I know he didn't develop the safer barriers.
He did not. Let me tell you what this gentleman did.
Please.
He made the post race Friday night so much better because the last time that Lane Riggs went to victory lane, he dislocated his arm, his shoulder, celebrating on top of his truck in his victory celebration. Dr. Patrick M. Connor repaired his shoulder in the off season this past year.
That's killer.
And now he is completely healthy. Lane Riggs got up on top of his truck, celebrated. All his body parts stayed attached. Checkers, Dr. Patrick M. Connor.
I'm just going to tell you that I'm glad I'm part of this podcast because I just learned something there. And man, you go deep, dude. Holy cow.
Right, that's some good facts. Good facts right there.
Listen,
did you even see that one coming? I'm like,
listen, I figured somebody was going to take the layup, so I had to find something.
well,
that was definitely, you got
I
it.
know so little about the truck series, but well done. Well done.
All right. Let's talk some wreckers. I had two kind of wreckers
Don't
here.
you take mine.
Well, I feel like our wreckers and our what the heckers could probably be the same and interchanging, maybe.
Okay.
All right,
Come
here's
on.
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my B because I think you're probably gonna take the A, maybe. So that's
Okay.
what I'll take the B. My fellow Alabamian, Grant Enfinger, has trouble on pit road, gets mired back in the field, then goes into turn 2, 3 wide like a wild man, causes a huge crash, ends the day for the 44 of Connor Jones, and just causes a melee. So I'll take that, Wreckers. I'll give you the other one.
All right. So I'm probably taking the easy one right off the top, but come on, man. I'm engaged. I watched the race, and what do I see? I see another dominant performance by Corey Heim, right? But hold on, we're not done because we have a late race restart. Corey Heim gone for a different reason, and two of the best trucks running are taking out when Allgaier overdrives turn 1.
Well, you're in the wrong race, homie. You're in the wrong race.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm in the wrong race. I got it. Heim is going for the restart of that. I think it was the last restart. I'm pretty sure. Right.
Yes.
And all of a sudden the call comes out that he thinks he's got a tire going down. Right.
Yes.
And they're checking and he's running and wobbling the truck. And sure enough, I mean, I think this guy's won 4 or 5 races. Couldn't it be like double that number? He has to pit, and it takes, right? Clearly takes the dominant Heim out of the mix.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Nobody can lose a race like Corey Heim. I mean, he finds every way. It's insane.
How is that possible?
It's insane.
Was that going to be yours?
Yes, that was my Wreckers. Corey Heim finds another way to lose a race that he has dominated, and not even his fault. Tire goes down. Nothing he could have done about it.
That's what I'm saying, right? I mean,
Yeah. What about your what the heckers? Because I feel like it's probably going to be the same.
yeah, I don't know. I'm on you on the what the heckers. Go ahead. What
My
do you got?
my what the heckers is Corey Heim. His tire goes down. We're coming. He waves the field around. We're coming back to the restart. Um, Carson Hocevar decides that he is going to be the lead
Uh,
truck,
y- yes.
and he takes off, jumps the. Hocevar was in third place before Heim fell out of line. Um, Hocevar takes off, jumps the restart. NASCAR black flags him because he went too early. He and his team try to argue it. He ultimately, his crew chief, his spotter, don't know the rule,
Didn't
and
they black flag him like 3 times?
yeah,
So
yeah, he,
it's funny you bring that up, Chris. I think he came one lap from being shown not the black flag, but the seldom ever seen, isn't it a black flag with a white stripe, which is we've pulled your scorecard?
Yeah, that's the park it flag, I think, isn't it?
I think so. We have to check with Superfan, but there
I,
is a flag that comes if you don't answer the black
I,
flag.
I think it's got a picture of Josh Williams on it, and
Oh, what is up with that? But
he's a hero.
seriously,
yeah,
you bring up a good
yes,
point.
he kept running. NASCAR told him you
Yep.
have to bring it in. You have to do a pass through penalty. He says this is BS. The team needs to argue it. They try to argue it. NASCAR says no. The rule is you are not the control car or truck, and he keeps trying to argue it. Finally, yes, they were about to park him. He finally comes through, makes the pass through penalty, and the two trucks who were the most dominant of the day are sent to the back and hands Lane Riggs the win.
But let's be clear on what happened there, right? The control truck was Heim.
Right.
P2 was Lane Riggs. So they're starting on the front row, as I recall. Heim drops out of line, got the tire going down. That means P3, which was Hocevar,
Right.
slides forward and doesn't realize that regardless of your alignment and what lane chooses you did, the P2 truck, Lane Riggs, automatically becomes the control vehicle, and that's where the screw up came. Is that accurate?
Yes. And we had this a couple years ago in Cup. I'm trying to remember who it was, but same situation because they thought that either you got to re-choose
Yes.
or what the deal was because somebody fell out on one of the restarts. They ran out of gas. Logano ran out of gas. And I'm trying to remember. I want to say it was Denny, maybe, but I could be completely wrong.
And that was a hell of a turn
Anyways,
of the truck race at the end. So
yeah. So that's, I mean, that was my what the heckers was Hocevar not knowing the rule and screwing himself out of the win.
now we can talk about races that Chris actually watched. Usually
The
I'm
it's
in it
me.
now.
the
I'm in the
payback,
game now.
the
Thanks for
the,
holding me down.
It's
I
me.
appreciate it, fellas.
Usually it's
Teamwork
me.
makes the dream work.
the payback is just he brought it this week. All right, let's talk some Xfinity. Chris Justice, give me some checkers for Xfinity. This should be fun.
Well, let's see some checkers for Xfinity. My checkers for Xfinity is going to be not that Zilich won the race, but all of junior motorsports cars finished in the top 10. That is a big win for the organization. It's definitely not the obvious checker, right? But I think that's a little hidden gem in there that takes the cake right there for me.
I'm guessing, Rick, that you're going to go Homer right here.
Well, first of all, I want to give my esteemed podcast colleague Chris Justice all the credit in the world because that was strong. I did not realize that all JRM's cars finished in the top 10. However, if you leave the marker uncovered, yes, I'm going to take it. I'm taking the obvious checker. I know, paint me, do whatever you want. But hold on, there's a little more detail to mine. Yes, my checkers goes to Connor Zilich. However, it goes for the second week in a row that NASCAR gets its dream made for TV event, just like Mexico with Daniel Suarez, as my boy, Connor Zilic, unbelievably talented, gonna be a superstar. You guys know I'm all over this guy. Wins the race. Who, lo and behold, is sitting atop his pit box as his crew chief.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
How does this all line up for NASCAR?
I
Jesus.
think they're going to get an ESPY for that one. You know what I mean?
And right after the Suarez win in Mexico, come on. What are we doing? How is this all coming together? That is an easy checker. And yes, I took the layup.
Yeah,
You did. You took it.
I was with you. Mine was, you got to give it up for crew chief Dale Jr., the rookie sensation.
Yeah.
But also, just can you imagine being 18 years old, having a legend as both your car owner and crew chief on your box, calling the race for you, and you're racing your best friend for a win on national TV? Like, what a dream this kid is living. Just and performing. And he gets his first, I posted this on our uh at Wreckers podcast Instagram today, but he gets his first win on a, not an oval, but a triangle, not a road course.
Yeah, let's just call it a non-road
yeah.
course race, right? Which is its
And
discipline was home.
there's nothing this kid can't do. I mean, this kid is going to be absolutely incredible. So,
And in about a month from now, he turns 19.
It's crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, give me some wreckers for Xfinity, Rick.
Ooh, I get the wreckers call. Well, this one cut deep. It's probably obvious, but my goodness. Our 00 car with Sheldon Creed was literally treated like a demolition derby car. Okay. Early on, he got pushed up on a restart, bounced off the wall, and side slammed into Harrison Burton, which is another Ford car that's built out of the Haas factory team shop. We lost a lap. He got the lap back. Okay. Late in the race, we'll say 3/4 mark, another restart, which we all know how restarts are chaotic, and especially at a track like Pocono, right? Mm-hmm. You get Sanchez, I believe, in the 48 car, spins out coming off of turn 1, if I recall. Sheldon makes this crazy maneuver and jerks the car down because he had committed. You got to commit. You going high, you going low. Sanchez is coming right across his path. He turns the car so hard that he side slammed the inside wall, which, by the way, is a safer barrier, not by Dr. Patrick Connor. We've clarified that. See who's still paying attention. And literally destroys the race car. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I saw the car at the end. I mean, it was every sort of which way, out of whack, busted up, housing moved over. That was a bad records that weekend, in like a 35th place or 32nd place for my boy Sheldon. That was sad.
Yeah, I was going to go with that one too. He was beat up out there. They treated him worse than they.
Jesus, right?
They treated him bad. He got the Muniz treatment, and he's a solid veteran driver out there. I was like, that zero was just getting bounced around, bro. It was bad.
Chad, does that qualify as insensitive on the podcast?
Oh, I'm dead. Oh, God.
What are you doing?
All right. My wreckers was Little Gator on the final restart. Drove in way too hard, gets loose, washes up the track into Chase Elliott. And I guess they went and had a chat afterwards. He apologized to Chase, but as bad as I hate it, that's my wreckers for Xfinity. My what the heckers for Xfinity, Rick. Coming back for your Ford guys.
What you got?
Is the fact that they forgot to put the hood pins into
Oh my
Kyle
God.
Sieg's car
Yes.
for his qualifying run.
Yeah, and the
So he
hood
had
blew
to
up.
start. Yeah, he had to start in the rear. I mean, what else can they forget to do to this car? Wasn't it? Didn't wasn't he the
He
same
the
guy
one
who
wasn't
they
he the one
forgot
who
to put
didn't get
gas in?
yeah, it didn't get filled. And I reported on that a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago, whenever that was.
Yeah.
Who is the crew chief on this car? Because somebody, like, at some point, somebody's got to be held accountable for this. I mean, I'm sure whoever it is a nice guy, but if you don't fill the car before you start a race and you can't put the hood pins in before you go qualifying, I mean, these seem like basic checklist things that
But
you
oh, but that's what happens when you got small teams on small budgets and you got guys doing the job of 4 or 5 people. You get in a bind, you're getting a hustle, you get on a time crunch, and that checklist goes away, and little small things like that get forgot about. I'm
I
not
mean,
Yeah.
saying it's right, but I'm just saying that's
And
how it shakes out.
and,
but
and are we right? Are we fact checking ourselves? Because there's a Kyle Sieg and a Ryan Sieg. Was both happened to the same car? I don't remember.
I'm not sure. I know
Me neither.
It was Kyle's car this weekend that did not have
Yes.
the hood pins in.
Yeah, that
But
part I remember. Yep.
but dad gum. I mean,
I got it. Dag gum.
somebody somebody somewhere
That's
somebody
straight
needs
out
a
of Alabama right there. That's
Hold
straight.
on, Chris. I'm about to make a stereotype comment that's going to come back on me about dag gum and stereotype on Alabama. Dag
I'm gonna
gum.
say that's dirty South right there. Daggum.
listen.
Dag
Daggum,
gum.
that's all the
I
way down there.
I'm just gonna throw this out here, Rick. If somebody in that Ford shop over in the Xfinity world needs somebody to come over there and hold a clipboard with a checklist, I've got a Sharpie, I've got a printer.
You're
I,
in.
I'm
You're in.
I'm
All
looking
right.
for a job. I mean,
Let them know.
I work cheap.
Let them know.
Let me know.
And you're a
What's your
tremendous asset, as you've proven time and again here.
well,
Oh yeah.
I
Holds
try.
us down, Rick.
Chris
All
Justice,
right.
what's your what the heckers for
My what the
Xfinity?
heckers was gonna be Allgaier's restart. That was my what the heckers. As a
Sorry.
seasoned veteran, a champion, right? I think, in my opinion, um, you know, yeah, he was going for it, trying to get that edge. But I think by that point of the race, you knew what your car had. You know what I mean? I just think that was a rookie move to drive in that deep, that hard, that late in the race. But that's my what the heckers there. Like, what the heck are you doing?
Fair. Ricky?
A 100% match to my man Chris Justice, which is a 100% match to you, Chad, who used it as a wreckers, right? So you used it as a wreckers. Chris and I used it as a heckers. The Allgaier overdriving turn one, sliding up, taking himself out, taking Elliott out, and opening the door, for Connor Zillich to move on, and let's have the storybook ending with Dale Jr. as crew chief. But I'll make them what the heckers more me when I was what the heckering and reading ahead on my notes and tried to say that was part of the truck race like an asshole. So I'm an idiot. I own it. Let's move on.
All right, let's talk some
I
cup.
own it. I mean, I got to own it.
Hey,
Let's
listen,
I
that's
can say
half the battle.
I'm
Owning it.
drinking, but all I got's iced tea. Sake.
let's talk some cup at Pocono. Chris Justice, give me your checkers.
Well, you got to go with that 19 car, Joe Gibbs Racing. Chase Briscoe for the big win, new organization, new crew chief. Some people said that was a gamble to get him, and he's proven them wrong. He has won in that car before. The grandson has won in that car, in that organization. So big hats off to them. That's my big checkers for the week. Chase Briscoe and the guys over there, JGR.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with the same team, but I'm gonna go James Small.
Hmm.
Uh because he initially after they first they they have the pit stop, Chase takes off before they're ready for him to. Initially he says we're totally effed on fuel, but then he resets and he coaches his driver through. He says, hey, do what you do, we're going to be fine, we're going to be good. And the relationship that he has seemed to build with Chase is so drastically different than the one that he had with Martin. That one just seemed like it was
Antagonistic.
explode
It
constantly.
seemed antagonistic. Yeah,
And
you're right.
I think you are seeing the best version of James Small as a crew chief right now.
Mm.
Um, I think in the his initial reaction on that was much like you would have seen with Martin. And when Chase didn't snap back at him the way Martin would have, James initially like he pivots to straight to, all right, my guy's with me. Let me get with my guy. Let me coach him through this. You look and I mean, even the engineer sitting next to him is like, man, there's no way we're making it. There's no way we're making it. And he's like, it doesn't matter. I'm with my guy. I'm in it. I'm in it. We've made our bed.
Leadership.
Let's do it.
That's
Yeah.
leadership.
Yeah. You saw the leadership there. So my checkers goes to James Small. Rick?
I got to tell you, that was a very insightful addition there to your checkers on James Small. And I'm not just saying that or trying to suck up to you because you're the host, but well done there.
Co-host. We're all the host.
Mine matches 100%. Again, Chris Justice, Briscoe. It's obvious. I could turn my camera off and just let Chris do all the talking for me. However, I have one little thing to add, which I don't think we touched upon, and it's post race comments from Chase Briscoe. Did you guys catch that he said he feels like this is one of his least satisfying slash celebratory wins? Did you hear him say that?
No, I was packing up, getting ready to go home.
Yeah.
I didn't hear
So
that either. Which
yeah,
at like right immediately after?
in the Victory Lane interview, and they've replayed it today on Sirius XM, so I've fact checked myself. And where the origin of the comment comes from is how much pressure he had piled on himself, and you guys talked about it, by being given this Joe Gibbs number 19 ride, former Truex ride, well funded, Bass Pro Shops. And here's an even spookier one. It's 3 days to the year when the announcement was made that when after the Stuart Haas implosion discussions were had around Memorial Day of last year, May 28th ish or something like that. Chris would remember. The announcement came that Gibbs was scooping him up and putting him in that 19 car. So for him to say something like that, I thought that was pretty cool because I think it speaks to how he was like, yeah, I want to celebrate it, but I also know and own that this was expected of me. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, let's talk some wreckers. For me,
They're all going to match. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're going to match.
you think so?
I am.
Well, I'm about to get on a soapbox. So
Oh, Jesus.
this
They're
let me
not
get,
Let's go.
going to
get
match,
let's,
then.
let's
They're
get
not
back.
going to match
Let's
because
get on
Chris
the
and I don't have a damn soapbox. Go ahead.
let's get I'm getting back on the couch again.
Here we go.
So Bubba Wallace, his rotors fail, brakes go out, blows the tire, whatever. He's coming around and he puts down his window net, unplugs his radio, unbuckles his belt, all while still on the track. Um, I get the frustration and I get the emotions and all that stuff. But I mean, last week we saw the five team, we saw the 5 team wreck get taken out and them completely rebuild a car while Kyle Larson is watching the race on his phone or helping his team. We, I saw Bubba Wallace unhook everything, disconnect before he even made it off the track, take the car to the garage, get out and walk away. And to me, this is the difference between a driver and a championship driver. This sends a message to your team, to everybody who puts those cars together, to every like you're just done. Like you don't care anymore than that. I mean, if you're looking for a spot for Corey Haim, if you're Denny Hamlin and you're Michael Jordan, that makes my decision pretty easy. I mean,
Look at you.
this
Ooh,
I
that's
mean,
rough.
dude, if that's the way I mean, you can't tell me that the crew chief, your spotter, everybody on the team is not still talking to you in a helmet and you're unplugging the radio, that you're undoing your seatbelts.
Yeah, that's a little
Your
disrespectful.
your team has not even had the chance to look at your car and diagnose a problem. Meanwhile, you've got the 5 car and the 9 car, and those teams, they're rebuilding their cars and putting them back out on the track to get whatever points they can. Their drivers are hopping out to help rebuild. That's your lack of interest, your disrespectfulness, your attitude towards your team, or your I'm done with this, I'm over this. I don't have to. I've got a guy who is dominating every race that he gets in and who has had the worst luck you could possibly imagine. And guess what he does every single time? He gets back out on the track. He finishes his races. When he gets done, he does his post race interviews and he says, things didn't go our way this week. We'll keep working. We'll keep getting better. We'll keep fighting. We'll see you next week. That contract runs out. Guess whose butt I'm putting in that 23 car?
I'm time.
It's time for me.
Time. But also some of those wrecks you got, some of those situations you can't rebuild them, right?
Well, that's what I was going to say, Chris.
And I'm not sure, and I don't have the rule book in front of me, but I do know that some of those front end parts, once you're done, once they're broke, they're broke.
And I get that, but your car is still driving. You're still going. You're still literally, he's not made it back down the track yet. And they're showing his in-car camera and he's literally already has his helmet. He's unplugged his mic. He's taken his belts off and his window net is down while he's driving.
So he's over at that point. He's done. He's cooked.
I mean, you don't even, there's no way that he knows what's going on. You don't know, you haven't even got a chance to hear what your spotter or your crew chief sees. You can't see the outside of the car.
No, that's a valid point.
How do you know? How do you know what the damage is? It's still driving.
That's a good point.
I mean, again, it's the reaction. It's everything that you show your team. You're supposed to. You're the face of this team. You're the face of that number 23 car. You're the face of McDonald's Racing. You're the face of Chumba Casinos or whoever's on that car this week.
Sponsors that are on that car. Yep.
Yeah. You got very valid points there, Chad. Absolutely.
Litos is on there. I mean, that car is well funded.
Columbia, whatever.
Columbia, good call.
And
yep.
You've got the greatest basketball player to ever play as your team owner. I mean, that's embarrassing. Go back and watch that. It's embarrassing. All right, Rick, give me your records, Rick.
I feel like this was, Chris, yet another one of these Dr. Phil moments that we provide the couch for Chad.
He's waiting all day for that.
I feel that without this podcast, he's a troubled person. But because we give him this forum and let him get on that soapbox, look at his face. He feels better already.
It's tough sometimes, but it's tough being a NASCAR fan sometimes.
He let it out.
All right, take a deep breath. You wandered right onto my records. Mine was the overall records, which Bubba was a part of, for the 2311 racing team. Because before Bubba slammed the wall, Riley Herbst slammed the wall. Okay. And that was an exploded brake rotor. Bubba's was an exploded brake rotor. Back to what Chris was saying, you're right. He doesn't know, and I'm not defending Bubba, but
Mm-mm.
the way those cars hit, it was hellacious. I mean, had they rebuilt those cars, I just think that, like, when it was the same problem again, they knew, right? And let's take it to step three. They knew it was so bad that they brought in a lead lap running Tyler Reddick, and I saw him go into the pits because he crossed like right by when I was heading somewhere. I'm like, that's odd. And straight in, and he was running towards the back, a lead lap car, and right into that right front fender well, wheel off, chicka, 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 boom, wheel back on, back out he goes. And I think he finished 32nd. So that means every 2311 car was 32nd or worse. Okay. And what that tells me is where Bubba's frustration, probably Riley Herbst, and probably you can throw Tyler Reddick in there, was from a very bad gamble that the team made a decision across all those cars to sacrifice brake performance for downforce. And I don't know exactly which way they went on that side of it, but that is definitely a wreckers when your entire team is 32nd or worse.
And you had me there. I mean, they went in together. They had a plan as a team, and they all wrecked each other. And I'm with you there, Rick. The 2311
That was an easy one.
issues followed as a team,
Yep.
and they wrecked themselves. Like you said, you had Reddick, who was back in the pack at the time, but lead lap. And you
Yeah.
bring him into the garage to fix it.
Yeah. I
Right.
think at that point they brought him in for driver safety, right?
Right.
I mean, let's be
Right.
honest.
So yeah, big records on the 2311 for whatever change they made to explode rotors. You saw it in the replay of Bubba's car. You saw it explode through the wheel. I mean, what do you do at that point? You just got to hold on.
Again, I have no problem with frustration. I
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
no problem with any of that. It's your reaction to that and
Agreed.
your
How you handle it.
leadership.
How you handle it.
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, Chad, you didn't even go there. I'd take it a step further. He was very short, single word, curt type answers when he was, because obviously you got to go to the infield care center on a massive impact like that. So when he stocked off, NASCAR will chase him down. His PR rep will chase him down. He's got to go infield care. They caught him on the coming outside of infield care, and I don't know who did the interview. I think it was one of the female.
Yeah, I think it was Kim Kuhn.
Yeah, and I mean he was just single word, and I know one of his comments was, "I'm a man of few words right now," or something like that. So
Yeah. All right. What about some what the heckers there, Chris?
What the heckers? You got Horsevar and Stenhouse side by side racing, and
unbelievable.
and Horsevar passes up an opportunity to race him hard and clean and fair, if you will, waves him by. Like, I mean, I've never been a race car driver, but as an athlete, you never give up the spot that easy, man. Come on, like really?
Does that in the feud? But
No.
Ricky was asked before the race, what in a perfect world, how does this end? What ends this? And Ricky said, well, in a perfect world, it would have been done already. And I'm tired of giving this kid publicity. But, and he said, I don't know. I just want it to be over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
does this end it?
I don't think so. I think it was just Carson's way of trying to diffuse it at the moment to try to save what day he had going. You know what I mean? Just trying to be the bigger man and keep what points he had on the table. Because it could have ended bad, you know. He could have been sitting right there next to Riley and Bubba,
Yeah.
in the garage, right?
Yeah.
So I see it going on a little bit. I think Martinsville in the second to last race is going to say a whole lot.
Rick, what the heckers?
Before I give mine, one quick closing comment. I think we're discussing. I mean, is Ricky Stenhouse going to be a playoff car?
I'm just saying that this just in general.
No, I got where you're going. What I'm saying is what's going to add to this is if there's no playoff implications,
Oh yeah, yeah,
you're 100% spot on, bro. That's the point I'm trying to make. Got it?
yeah.
So that's where I was going with that. Yeah, my what the heckers, maybe I'm off on the reservation here. I don't know. My what the heck goes out to Brad Keselowski, the driver, and Brad Keselowski, the team owner. And I'll tell you why. So, Brad Keselowski, the driver, was leading the race and he came down pit road when pit road was closed. Like just an egregious mistake. Okay. How did this happen? Well, as it was turned out and about, it was not on Brad. It was actually on his spotter who was supposed to be watching pit road for open or close and communicating to Brad. Crew chief Jeremy Bullins thought this was being done. And then all of a sudden, Bullins sees the car coming down pit road and he's like, uh-oh, well, we better pit it and do it and take our lumps from NASCAR. That was the first time as Brad, the driver. Okay. There's another what the heck is going on with Brad, if you all remember. Later, Brad is actually fighting his way back up through, and Brad, the owner, as he's behind the seat, or in the seat, sorry, overrules Bullins when he tells him to come into the pits. And he's like, no, it's good. Let's run a couple more laps. And what happens? He gets caught out by that caution, and he's on the wrong side of the caution. So just a tough weekend if you're Brad the driver, Brad the owner, and this compounds a situation with them already where Priest is running good in that 60. Hell, Buescher was up front most of the race in that 17.
He was.
And Brad was leading. I mean, these Roush cars actually have the speed. And I think he, if I'm not mistaken, he might have fought it back to a top 10 because I think all those Roush cars, we could have given a checkers to them because, like Chris gave us that great comment on Junior Motorsports having 4 in the top 10. I think all the Roush cars finished in the top 10. So that's my what the heck. What the heck, Brad?
I like it. And we actually all three have different what the heckers. How about
Well,
that?
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Variety, spice of life.
Perfect.
My what the heckers goes to AJ Allmendinger,
Oh,
who is coming into pit, hits his tire man, launches the tire into the air and onto the tire changer from the 88, knocks him down. I haven't, I mean, he appeared to be okay. Looks like maybe might have tweaked his wrist a little bit, but
I think one of those guys has bruised ribs, fractured ribs and punctured lung. One of those guys.
oh yeah,
seriously?
Yeah.
it was rough. I mean,
Yeah.
watching it on TV, they didn't give a medical update on TV, but I mean, he launched his tire guy, and
Yeah, it was
then
bad.
the tire. I mean, I'm talking 8-10 feet in the air, comes back down, hits the 88 tire changer, knocks him down, hits him right on the wrist while he's got the gun. It was rough. Just over Allmendinger just overshot it. Yeah. So that's my what the heckers.
That's a
Super
good one
fan.
too.
Super fan. Do you know how heavy those 18-inch BBS forged aluminum rims wrapped in that Goodyear rubber are?
I don't, but I bet they're heavy.
Eh, they're lighter than you think, but when they're shot through the air by a vehicle, they become like a torpedo missile. Where I thought you were going to, they weigh about 40 pounds, which they are lighter than an Xfinity tire or a truck tire because those are still on those old steel stamped
Right.
aero rims. Where I thought you were going to go is there was some buzz today and again, I'm not on social media to know, he got back up and finished the pit stop.
Oh yeah, I
But
saw
adrenaline.
that. But
Yeah, he finished.
Yeah.
but yeah,
How, man,
they cut to him afterwards, and you could see
how
he was
bad?
visibly in pain.
Crazy.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, you got to finish.
Yeah, that was a good what the heckers, man. That was a good
That
one.
was a good one.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps us up for Pocono. Good talk there. Yeah, good episode. Reminder, everybody, about our big announcement with our Charlotte race weekend giveaway. Don't forget, fill out your brackets, post them on your social media accounts, tag our accounts at Wreckers Podcast, and invite all your friends to do the same and tag us. The more interactions you have with us, the more people you invite, the more you watch our episodes and all that good stuff, the more points you get. It's all calculated by a website. And the person with the most points at the end of this 5-week stint after Indianapolis will be awarded this big grand prize giveaway. We can't wait to welcome you to Charlotte to hang out with us and to have a whole VIP experience for the Roval weekend. And this may be the last Roval. I mean, we keep hearing.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be.
So yeah, make sure you're doing all that. And yeah, tag us at Wreckers Podcast. Make sure to check out the brand new website, wreckerspodcast.com.
.com.
Yeah.
.com.
We have a ton of special guest episodes coming up as well that you don't want to miss. You'll be seeing lots more episodes coming on your feed. So make sure you are subscribed and following that. We also, the new YouTube channel is up at Wreckers Podcast on YouTube. I have almost all of our old episodes up, re-editing those for YouTube. So,
and I gotta say, Chad, thank you. Rick and I are traveling and at these racetracks, and you're holding down the office side for us, getting these sites done, the uploads, the edits. We really, really appreciate it.
We're working, we're pushing, we're trying to make this thing better for all you tens and tens of listeners and viewers. And
you are truly a content creator.
Well,
yeah,
we're trying. Rick's got us the hookup on the visual side that's about to get better, and our audio is going to get better, and all our so you're about to see some changes.
You're lining up special guests, which is exciting.
Big things are
happening. I do want to point out at one time, Chris Justice was a special guest, and you're all welcome. Thank you. Thank you. He's a special guest and became part of the show. I'm taking credit for that. Damn it.
I like it.
All right, my last little tidbit on your brackets. Pick Brad Keselowski to beat Chad's guy, Kyle Busch. Next.
It's going to be a tough one. We'll see. All right. Rick is going to be buying us steaks because he's going to finish last in this bracket. But
come on, get out.
All right,
it's going to be so tasty too. Good steaks.
Oh, there's going to be good ones. We're going somewhere good, Epic or somewhere. Yeah.
All right,
we ain't going to Sizzler.
All right, we'll see you guys on the next one.
All right.
Hit that like button, and that's the subscribe button.
Remember, the race is on Saturday night.
Oh,
Saturday at 7.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to play a show in Michael Waltrip's.
We'll fill you in on the details. Fan.
I'll still watch. All right. See ya.
So I went wide open, hoping for a little taste of that